Yep. So what we are doing in Nifty as of now, this is the primary impulse we are taking it, and the way this is stand right now, we are taking that as a corrective for this one, which means anytime we get a complete correction for that impulse, we would be looking for the next impulse, right? Now, problem with that, if you go previously on this thing, this is actually a pattern, but based on that this actually should it start going back up, which it is not doing, and that's why it's making more confusion. It has never been before, but I mean, see those patterns when whenever they complete, they tend to go. This time they are not going. We cannot blame them. I mean, they don't want to go, so why they should go? So our job is actually to read this information, and let's see what we are actually doing here, and we can trade it. So the way we read this as of now, this is the one piece, one pullback, and the next piece because you tag the high. Now, if you look at that, that itself is a complete pattern for making one down. So which means they should have gone down from there. Again, they did not go from there. So what are they doing here? This is the first impulse, and now I have this information. Remember, we did not have this information last week. So we all had is this, and this. Back to back three impulses, right? But now I can say it's actually clear what's happening over there. So we're assuming that you can fib over there, right? I have fib it. So I'm assuming that this is the first impulse. I don't have a first impulse for the downside, right? This could be it, but you see the pullback is so deep in it, which means I'm not taking that as an impulse for the downside as of now. So I'm not watching, I'm not even looking at that scenario. Symmetrical triangle, okay, I don't know that thing. How is that triangle? Kind of triangle. I don't know how. This is how you're taking it. I think that should you be taking it symmetrical triangle. Yeah, it's possible, but in which direction they should go, that's the problem, no? So see, this is how I am taking it. I'm taking this as an impulse. I'm taking this as a first wave correction, and now we are in the middle of this piece. So for trading purpose, all you need to focus on this piece this week, but for the reference, we need to pay attention on this one, that I'll take that as an impulse. So whenever the correction is complete, I'll look for another impulse. For that to be happen, I need the complete corrective structure in between. As of now, it's in making. They're making it. So with that picture in mind, let's look at this in a deep side. No, this is not going to be uploaded. Sorry, I have already answered that. What? Anyways, so I'm looking at this as a primary impulse, this as your B wave, and they're making us some kind of complete corrective structure in this. So we got the one, we got the two, we are waiting for the third, and then we can look for the upside, then we can look for the downside, and then we look for the upside. So that's the pattern I'm expecting in Nifty. How do we trade it? That's the question. And next, what are the chances that it is correct, right? So we have to track on a lower time frame. For that to be happened, you see there is a trend right there. So the trades for this week, that's the answer now. This is not an impulse, right? So this is the primary impulse. This was the first wave correction down. This, if you pay attention on this one, they can develop like that, go back up, come back down, and go back up, or else they can develop like that and go back down and go back up. All right, so you watch out on this pattern. Now why those are the possibilities? Because this is not an impulse, this is a corrective structure itself. So they are correcting the corrective structure. Sounds weird, but yeah, they're correcting this corrective structure. Now the tendency to make this corrective structure, the rules which we follow, they can go back down, and anytime they break the trend for the upside, they can come back up. So there is a short-term trade coming up this, there is a short-term trade coming up this. How do we trade it? Simple. As long as you're below this trend, you're giving me any corrective structure, I'm selling it in hope to tag this bottom. Anytime you're breaking that structure for upside, you correct that. I'm looking for that upside trade. Again, from the last 3 weeks, this market is not for the swings. So anything we are trading as of now in this is actually intraday. All the plans, all the setups which I have discussed right now, those are intraday plans. Nothing is swing here. Who wants to buy here? Who wants to sell here? Even if anybody is doing it and those are not having the crores and tons of $1 million into the account, they are guessing it, because the information for the downside is not printed, information for the upside is also not printed. They are getting printed as of now. So it doesn't mean you cannot trade on a lower time frame. We trade intraday on 5 minutes, so that's easily possible. So trade this based on the 5 minutes. If this impulse comes out, correct it, look for this trade, short-term trade again. Don't hope they can go back up, because based on this pattern looks difficult. And if they give you downside, the downside for this one, for that you have to have a down pattern here, which we don't have here. So I'm assuming they might break the trend for the outside and look for, this is 60 to 70% chances. For that trade to be happened, you have to have a complete pattern here, which is missing. We don't have it. So let's see. But anytime you're tagging it, make a consolidation, look for this trade. That's a 40% chances. But this trend line is a game this week. All right. So that's Nifty. How we are. This is how we are looking at it. The patterns which we are looking at it, based on this primary impulse and based on this corrective structure. Again, this is the script which is not making good sense to us, but yeah, since we have more data now, it's actually coming. If you look at on a monthly time frame, actually you can see that they're dying. Actually, like, it's not a good pattern to buy as of now. It stands. So we are waiting to be like the pattern to be confirmed. So everything here is a intraday, not a swing trades. All right.